Hello, everyone. My name is Zhao, and I'm currently a postdoc fellow at University of Toronto, supervised by Professor Rhonda McEwen. We are here to present our current work of a long-term study on the usage of home companion robots by preschool-age children. Here's some background. Last year, we were working on a project looking at how people use technology differently during the pandemic. And we found that there were many commercial social robots that have been adopted by families with preschool age children. And we thought that was pretty interesting. And we also found most studies of children and social robots were conducted in classroom settings. And we feel like a long-term research with home robots and conducted in the wild can provide insights into how children actually interact with these social robots like daily in their own homes. So we designed this study to look at first, how did the children interact with the social robots and how did this interaction change over time? And second, what are the parents' expectations of the robot in replacing themselves in reading and playing with their children, and if the expectations were met or not over time. And finally, from a parental perspective, how can we possibly increase children's interaction with the robot and to improve user retention in the long term? And the robot we use in this study, named Luka, is an interactive reading robot that's designed to help kids read real books by adding another dimension to the reading experience. So basically, it reads aloud the books put in front of it. And Luka also has some additional features such as playing music, telling audio stories, and some audio-based mini games for children to interact with. And it can also be a general chatbot companion to the children. And there's also an app associated with Luka so that parents can choose media content from the app. And also parents could choose, for example, a default message or type in any words and Luka will say it out for them. So this picture shows how our participants put Luka in their homes and how their children normally use it. We recruited 20 first-time Luka user families in North America in households with children aged between 2 to 6 who did not have prior experience with other robots targeting children users. And we ran this study for 6 months from the first day they received the robot. So we conducted pre- and post-study questionnaires. The pre-study questionnaire collected demographic background about the parents and the children and their experience with other AI products and their expectations on how Luka was anticipated to replace parents in reading and companionship with their children. And the post-study questionnaire asked about their true experience with the robot. And we conducted interviews which were semi-structured and each took about 20 to 30 minutes. We conducted interviews with parents but before they received Luka and also during the study every 15 days. We audio recorded the interviews for transcription and analysis. And in total, we have collected 183 interviews from our 20 participants over the 6 months. And finally, we retrieved the device log data directly from the company that supplies Luka. And of course, it's with participants' prior consent and permission. And the raw device log data captured 43 different types of events, and we filtered and combined the raw log events into sessions and then analyzed them. For the results, we organized them based on our research questions. So I'll briefly go through our findings in terms of long-term interaction, parents' expectations, and some potential solutions to sustain user retention and long-term engagement. So first, when we look at how in general the interaction changed over time, we saw the number of active users decreased over time, and that was not surprising. So daily active users were defined as the participants who interacted with Luka at least once in that day. So we found that there were 6 families kept using Luka on a daily basis during the entire study period, and there were only 1 family that completely stopped using Luka in the 3rd month due to an unstable internet connection, and the rest of them kept using it on an average of like 1 to 2 times a week. And at the same time, the number of different types of sessions per active users of each day remains stable or even increases over time. Here we looked at 4 different types of user sessions separately, and there were reading sessions, interactive sessions, audio play sessions, and the mobile app sessions. And to find out our parents' expectations and their true experience with the robot, we asked 4 questions in our questionnaires. As in this table, you can see question 1 and 3 were asked in the pre-study questionnaire, while question 2 and 4 were asked in a post-study questionnaire. So overall, the current state of the robot could not 100% fulfill our parents' high expectations, of course, but the results still indicated the parents' perceived feasibility and usefulness of Luka as a reading robot in companion to their children. And our qualitative data is summarized in our paper, so you may want to refer to the full paper for more detail if you're interested. And finally, most of the parents believe that having a reading robot is beneficial in the long term to help their children develop a good reading habit and for also entertainment. And our parents proposed different potential ways to increase the long-term usage. For example, some of them said they wished the material could be softer or similar to plush toys, and some parents pointed out that they especially loved the design of Luka's eyes, and they considered the eyes as a very interactive and engaging feature of the robot, so they would like to have some more similar interactions. And most parents reported that having reading as the primary function of the robot was the initial motivation that they bought Luka, although some of them didn't use it for reading afterwards. And also, many parents reported the biggest disadvantage of Luka was the delay or latency when reading books. So their children may lose patience or even get angry when encountered with a delay. And finally, Parrot Talk is a small feature of Luka. So in the Parrot Mode section of the app, parents can choose a default message or type in any words, and Luka will say it out for them. So this feature was reported super useful and engaging by many of our participants, and they use it in different ways. And we further discussed the insights that we gained from this long-term study on the usage of social robots in participants' own homes, and we believe this work provides an understanding of both parents and children users on how and why they use the robot, and it yielded important insights for social robot designers and technology developers. For example, we found that even though many parents considered the robots as their children's toys or friends, they still intervened significantly to influence how their children should interact with the robot. And this intervention led to changes in children's choices and behaviors. Therefore, we believe designers should consider both parents and children users when designing these products. So it is essential to grant parents adequate room for engagement and control, but at the same time leave enough opportunity for children to develop their autonomy and to build a healthy relationship with the robot. Thanks for your time. We look forward to hearing any of your comments or suggestions on this project.